we've worked our way up to assembling the brakes. So we'll just run through. I'll just do what I normally do and have a chat along the way. Now, first up, I usually try and get a little bit of emery tape and just clean this actuator can. So you get a little wear mark in them, and look, that's okay, that's nothing to worry about. We're just making sure there's no burrs, anything like that on there that might make the brake pedal sticky or make it catch on or something like that. So look, that's looking good there now. Make sure that the other end of this rod that goes to your pedal is not connected for this. Now some of this grease that we have over the back here, I'm just going to put a little bit on there. Now look, there's two trains of thought with this. Some people say don't put grease on there, it'll attract dirt and dust and make it sticky. And look, that's a fair comment. I like to put a bit on when I'm doing it, just feel better about it. So now any grease that's left over in here around the bearing, I'll wipe that out, because all that does, it does attract the dust later on, and it serves no purpose being there. So I'll just wipe all that, wipe him nice and clean. Make sure I didn't wipe the grease off there, fair chance I did. Okay, let's find a few parts and pop a few on. Now first cab off the rank, and the easy part to forget is these two spaces. One goes on there and one goes on there, and that gives the shoe a place to sit up against. Now before you get too excited with any of this stuff, go and wash all your parts up. Now the brake adjuster here, it's important to tidy that up, clean it up. I always like to put a little bit of grease down the hole so that when we screw the thread in, it's got a bit of lube. A little bit of grease there stops any rubbish from getting in too. So just make sure that screws in nicely. Any spare grease, oh, pardon me. I'll just put a little bit around here. Make sure that's nice and free to turn. Have him in fairly narrow at this stage, well, shut him right up, and he ends up sitting in between the shoes there. So that's ready to go. Now, the brake shoes I'm going to put on this are a shoe that I've never tried before. They're not a Sparex product, they're a Quality Tractor Parts product out of Ireland, and Queensland Tractor Spares, the business I own, it's an Australian agent for Quality Tractor Parts, and their number is 1250R, and it says brake shoe 35135, soft rubber lining for a pair. So the soft rubber part, that means that we should have a better brake at a lesser effort on the foot. And they're actually made, yeah, you can see, can you see, TVS Girling, that's a good name in brakes. So I've never tried this soft one before, I'm keen to give it a go. This is going to be my tractor for running around the countryside on, and look, I reckon it'll be a good thing. In the past I've used softer linings on David Browns and things like that, and they've worked a treat. So what we have to do also, or what I like to do, is on the brake drum here, I've just buffed that clean. Now, the reason I've done that is mine had 3 or 4 little coats of paint on it, and every time the tractor's been painted in its life or something's happened, it gets another coat of paint, and the wheel has to sit against that. So when we paint the tractor this time, it'll cop a little bit of paint there, and that won't be a worry. But the thicker you have the coats of paint, the more chance you have of the wheel walking, because the paint actually loosens off. So another thing to do while you have the brake drum here is, I might be able to just pop that on there just for our video. And look, that's not a real good picture for you either. I'll take that off. I don't know what you're thinking there, Lance, dopey bastard. And look, get your shoes. Make sure your shoes are the same diameter as the drum. So what are we looking for here? We're looking at the shoes touching all the way around. And look, this appears to be. So that's a good thing. Good to check that now, because if we get the brakes set up properly and we can get the shoe to expand out the full width of the shoe, we'll have far better brakes. Now, if you remember back when we pulled it apart first up, yeah, we had no wear here, heap of wear here, and so we're going to try and adjust it up so we got the best brake possible. So we know the shoes fit there, so just something to check. Now, we'll bring a shoe in. And as the cam turns, that'll bring this up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's good. Sitting there okay. I've got to remember where I put my pile of parts. Stop looking, I found them. Okay. So with these little pins, we have one of these little washers, and it's got a detent in it to locate the spring. Then another one on the other side of the spring. Now, see if I can sit that there without it all falling off. So if we bring this through from the back, through like that. So the washer goes on with the spring locator out this way. We hold it at the back, and the idea is to push the spring in. Push the spring in so we can locate that. Now, someone messaged me and said I flicked everything off with a screwdriver, because that's what everyone had, and they actually wanted to see the correct tools being used. So this is the correct tool, and how it works is you pick the right side and you push on the washer, and you'll see the serrations. It's got serrations inside there, and those serrations they grip the little catch here. So it's got a quarter drive, so you can do a put a screwdriver handle on it and turn. But we'll just see how we go without that. I'll go and get one if we need to, but it should grip it fairly well, I'm thinking. There we go. Same on the front here. So the dimple out. The spring. And then the washer with the dimple in, and you can see the little, you push it in that way and there's a little recess there that helps hold it in. Try and line it all up a little bit before we get in there. Turn at 90 degrees. Now make sure they're locked in at 90. That's beautiful. Alright, I'll turn off, I'll do the bottom and I'll come back when it's ready to go. Right, we've got top and bottom shoes on now. Now before we can put these other springs on, we have to put this plate on. Now the plate helps hold the shoes in position. So just pump that right home there. Now we'll put the adjuster in. Now the adjuster has a spring that rubs up against it, and the spring sits against the star, for want of a better word, to actually hold it all in. So if we bring this here, you try and bring this plier, it's actually just as easy to do that. And so you can see now, when we adjust the spring, or adjust the adjuster, that stops it coming undone when we're scooting down the road. Alright. These springs here go in that fella there. Oh, this is hard work, not popping in the road of the camera. I need to come round the back. He's trusty. I might try and come around this other side if I can. I'm left-handed working through here, and I've got to try and get around the back here. It's not going well. I wonder would this one be better to film. That's how we normally do it. Come on, Gertie. Important to keep your fingers out of the way here. Oh, nearly. That's lovely, tell your mother. She mightn't care. Now at the back here there's a little flap that we can get out of the way to adjust the brakes. Just bump him out of the way. So now we just check everything out, make sure it's okay. We've got our 2 pins in here, we've got them there. The shoes are sitting very good. They're both pretty even with where they're sitting. They can both move a bit to go on. We've got our spacers in behind there, our plate here, our springs on here. I think we're good to go. Yep, I'm sure. Now, what's worth looking at while you're here, you can come in the back with a screwdriver and turn your adjuster. So we know, going that way, when you move the handle of the screwdriver out the back here that I've got poking through onto the star, when we move that forward, so the handle forward, that's adjusting the brakes up. That's giving us a tighter pedal. And that's handy just to know, so you're thinking, oh, which way was I going? And you spend 20 minutes going the wrong bloody way. So all right, we'll grab this, excuse me, noggin. Now we'll pop this on, remembering to line up the holes for the brake drum retaining screws. See, we can still turn that, so it's not the brake drums that are tight there. Oh, it's not the linings rubbing on the brake drums. It's actually just tight on the spigot here. Or on the studs, more than like. We pop the studs in. I always put a little bit of grease or something on the studs so they don't seize. So the next poor bugger wants to get them out, which is probably me. Has got a fighting chance. Oh, now that's looking pretty good. I'll just go and grab a big screwdriver. Right. I doubt most people do this, but this is just what I do sometimes. A little bit of grease on each side here. Now I usually run this down. Okay, so we know that drum's right home now. Sometimes it's hard to tell with these little screws. So now, clean the little groove, take that up, and don't over tighten them, back them off and just barely take it up firm. Same with this one. So If you can see, I'm not putting any tension on that. I'm just using a couple of fingers just to bring it up firm. And same here. So I can take these nuts away now, and whenever we need to get those screws off, we can. It's not over tight. There's no need to impact them and carry on, make sure they're tight. When you've got a wheel bolted on here, held on by 8 bolts, that drum's not coming off in a fit, is it? It's only to hold it on and hold it true while we're doing brakes and things like that. So it should be okay where it is. I'll just leave these wheel nuts on. Well, actually, I can put all the wheel nuts on now that we haven't got to take the brake drum off anymore. And I'll probably clean them up first, and we'll put them on flush here and a bit of grease around the studs. So when we paint, the end looks nice, the nuts look nice, they'll be all painted, but the threads won't be all painted up. So what we have to do now is adjust the brake up. So at the moment, we can turn the wheel nicely. No troubles at all. We still haven't bothered to do up the pedal here. No need. We're not up to that part yet. So you'll remember that when we looked at the adjuster, when we put the handle of the screwdriver forward, that adjusted it up. So what I'd like to do now is just go up until it's firm. So until you feel in the back here, you can feel that starting to firm up a little bit there now. Okay, you can just feel that getting a little bit firm on the handpiece now. So, okay, that's locked up tight. There's no turning that. So now, we'll bring him back. Couple of clicks at a time. Right, it's just freed up there. I'll just take him up tight again so I can. Right, so that's just locked up. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. That's feeling okay. I'll just go another one back. That's 5 clicks off. Yeah, and look, that does feel freer. So once we get the brake, and we get the tractor out running, and we've tested the brakes and let them bed in a little bit, well, we'll just jack the wheel up then, and we'll just adjust that up until the wheel just barely locks, and we'll go 5 or 6 clicks back and just see how our pedal height goes. Now the adjustment on the rod up to the pedal, once you have your back brakes adjusted both the same number of clicks, and you're happy that they're about the same to turn, all that adjustment there does is give you pedal height, nothing else. It doesn't adjust the brakes. So there you go, that's the brakes done. Looks like the sun's just coming up this morning and it's coming in the front door and we're getting a bit of a shadow here. So we're up here at 5 o'clock this morning just trying to get the videos done, get the restoration done, so it doesn't drag on, and yeah, we have to go to work some days.